Hello, my name is David Schoolcraft, and I'm at 111 Pine Creek Court in Ormond Beach, Florida. My family, Brandy, Dylan, and Cheyenne, create large Christmas displays for the community to walk through and enjoy. Our display features 305 air-blown inflatables, a bubble play area, an outdoor theater, Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, the elves, and the Grinch. On occasion, our guests can take pictures with Santa Claus and the Grinch, depending on which they would like, or both. Sometimes they'll all pose in the same picture together. We broadcast our display soundtrack on 98.1 FM. Therefore, drive-bys can tune in to our radio station and listen to our soundtrack as they drive by. This is good for buses or for folks who are unable to walk and have to stay in the car. Some people ask why I like to create such displays. The only thing that I can explain to them is if you see the joy on the little kids' faces as they're playing in the bubbles and running around the walk paths looking at the air-blown inflatable characters, in amazement and in awe, you would be doing the same thing. In 2014, whenever we moved from Indiana, we only had 5 inflatables. And we placed those 5 inflatables in the yard without any expectations other than decorating for our own personal benefit. The next thing we knew, we had a knock at the door, and a family had stopped and asked if they could take pictures with these inflatables in our yard. Impressed that they even asked, I told them to go right ahead. Thank you for asking. And I did even more than that. I went out and helped them take their pictures so they wouldn't be an odd man out. So while taking the pictures, we decided that there was trip hazards. The little strings that hold the inflatables down and the power cords and this and that. We all ended up tripping on them because they were not protected in any way, shape, or form. So I tripped, they tripped, their little kids tripped. We all kind of tripped over them. So this was kind of a problem. Brandy and I discussed tripping over the inflatables and decided that we'd create a half-moon walk path from the road back to the road. This was the birth of the first walk paths at 111 Pine Creek Court. I figured that by making these paths, I was wasting my time. I never really expected anybody to stop further and want to look at the inflatables, much less use the path that we created. To my surprise, it seemed every 20 minutes we heard car doors and we'd look outside and somebody was taking pictures with 5 inflatables. Again, Brandy and I had a discussion and we decided that, if they would stop for 5 inflatables, I wonder what they would do if there were more. On occasion at our Christmas displays, we have Santa Claus and the Grinch who visit with our guests. On one such said occasion, Brandy was dressed as Mrs. Claus, I was dressed as Santa Claus, and the kids, Dylan and Shy, were dressed as elves. We were taking pictures with the guests one at a time, and the elves would guide the kids up to Santa, and Santa would talk to the kids. And then ultimately, after finding out what they wanted for Christmas, Santa Claus would send them on their way with a little plush toy. Every kid that visits with Santa Claus at 111 Pine Creek Court leaves with a toy. Anyhow, one family had come and they had mentioned that they had another family member who was in the car that wasn't able to walk. She was an older lady, about 94 years old, and we had learned that she had terminal cancer and probably was going to be her last Christmas. So Santa Claus sprang to his feet and disappeared. Did not tell Brandy where he was going. And the kids were lined up waiting on Santa, but Santa had told them he'd be right back. He had something pressing he had to do. Brandy waited and waited and waited a little more. Finally, she sent Elf Dylan to go see where Santa was. Dylan come along out to the parking area and found Santa had sit down in the car with the 94-year-old guest and was spending time with her. The 94-year-old guest had made the comment, "In all my years, I never thought Santa Claus would come looking for me." This is just one of the many things that our Santa Claus does here at 111 Pine Creek Court. On another set occasion, Santa Claus told the gentleman, "Yes, I got your Santa Claus letter. You know, the one that you wrote about the RV and the side-by-side?" The gentleman looked puzzled, and he looked at his wife. His wife looked at him. The kids were in awe, and they listened to Santa further. And Santa just kept on and on about this RV and this side-by-side. Well, after taking pictures with the family went to walk through the display. And minutes later, the gentleman come back with his cell phone and showed me the RV and the side-by-side that he had just took ownership of.